Hi team, welcome to your movement flow video. Today we're going to be doing a bit more on the hips and on the glutes. So we're going to start off with some forward lunges and we're just going to reach towards that front foot. So you're just going to alternate, reaching forward. Don't worry about your spine too much. By leaning forward, we're going to get into that glute, get into that hip a bit more. We're just trying to make sure we're a little bit warm, that we're starting to wake up the system, and we can start to get into our stretches in a little bit. So we're just reaching forwards. If you want to, you can hold a couple plates or light dumbbells. That will get into that hip even more. Just make sure you're pushing all the way off. Try and land with the feet relatively forwards and trying to make sure that we're pushing back all the way. So we're trying to get that dynamic press off. When we land, we're nice and soft and we don't stamp the foot. We're actually trying to absorb the force and then drive off, trying to get as deep as possible. We'll do a couple more. Cool, we're going to come to the floor, we're going to get into a pigeon position. So, we're going to play around with this pigeon position. We're going to, the further out you have that foot, the more aggressive it's going to be. The further back you put it, the less aggressive. We're going to come up. The back foot's going to be off the floor. Sorry, the back hip's going to be off the floor. You're going to actively push your hand into the sole of the foot, so palm of the hand and sole of the foot, and we're going to push slightly that way, and we're going to reach this way. So it's a really nice twist and a bit of a variation on kind of pigeon or swan as you twist all the way through. So just so you can see, my back leg is kind of nice and straight. You can have it up onto the toe and push, or you can have it relaxed and through, but we're reaching and getting this nice twist across. So we're just going to breathe here and take some time. If it's easy, you can always just lift up that back knee, drive this hip down a bit, and try and reach across. If you feel this is really uncomfortable, you can grab a little break, support that back hip a little bit, and then get back into that position. But just keep going. I'm just going to shimmy around so you can see a bit better. So you're still in that stretch. Trying to get this lat and this side involved as well, so we're pushing all the way through. Then we're going to go the other way. So you're going to keep this leg there, and actually you're going to reach with the left hand up and around and over this way. So you're trying to get all this lat stretch in. It's just this kind of twisting force is going to change the focus on the hip as well. So you're kind of getting both sides of the hip, but also getting all the way through this lateral chain down the side of the body, reaching across. You can grab your own wrist if you want to, you can pull it. So you're almost pulling that way and creating a bit more length. I personally just like to reach and get some support here and almost push and open. But whatever feels right for you, you explore the ranges that work for you. So we're going to be here a little longer. Same thing, if you want a bit of support, you can push that in there. If this is too aggressive, just bend that knee a bit more and reach across, and it should alleviate that pain. If you have any knee pain here, maybe just put something soft on there underneath, or you can kind of do this elevated on a bench. That kind of takes some of that knee pain away as well. So just keep reaching. Cool, and slowly come out. Make sure you don't come out too quickly. You don't want any kind of rebounding effect of that stretch. Give that leg a little shake out. You can straighten it out. Let that blood flow go back into the leg. From there, the other side comes through. Same thing, want a little more stretch. Come out, a little less, pull it back in. Same thing now, we're going to push our right hand into the left. If you're mirroring me the other way around, you're going across. So I'm pushing and I'm reaching across, like I'm twisting under, like a thread the needle type position. This push is, 20, 30%, it's not really hard, but you can actually get a twist by pushing in through the elbow, reaching through, and all the side of the body, as well as the outside of the hip, will feel that nice stretch. Good. As we breathe out, trying to relax the system, trying to get a little deeper in the stretch, still being active in our twist. Good, same thing. Slowly come out. We're just going to reach the other way. I'm just going to shimmy so you can see a bit more. Same position, but we're just going to reach across the body, kind of pull those fingers away from you, get that side of the body involved, twisting down now so your other shoulder is going towards the floor. Like I said, I'll get into a different part of the hip. If you want to, you can shimmy that leg, lift the knee up, shimmy that leg a bit further back, then relax it, or take some pressure off it, be a bit more over the knee, find a position. Should never feel like torture. It shouldn't be more than a 7 out of 10 in terms of discomfort. Kind of 6 is kind of ideal. And then it should also alleviate. If you're here for 20, 30 seconds, it should get a bit easier. If you go past that kind of 90-second mark, it definitely should feel easier. If not, you're probably a bit too deep in the stretch. If you want to hold these stretches for longer, obviously you're more than welcome to. We'll slowly come out of there. We're going to go into some kind of eccentric 90-90 loading. So now I want to kind of actively get into the hips. So kind of in this 90-90 bear position. Don't worry about trying to get this super open position. We're kind of more focused on the hip right now. So we're going to try and drive up onto the hip. From there, this hip's going to shoot back, and we're trying to slowly, as slow as I can, lower so that bum touches the floor, and then we're going to go to the other side. So you can help yourself up, and then from there, this butt cheek is going to come really slowly towards the ground. Feel that eccentric loading, get back into 90. If you can squeeze your bum and come up to that position, then really slowly, eccentrically load, get through that bear, into that 90. My right side's a little tighter and harder to do. From there, really slowly reach, come down. Like I said, if you need help with the transitions, more than welcome to put the hands down. You can gently put the hands down as you lower to kind of get that end range control. Hand support, up into 90, slowly lower, down and across. One more time, come all the way up, squeeze the bum, come through, then really try to shoot the bum back, lean forwards, load that hip, come around, across, squeeze the bum, load that back hip, slowly, back to 90. We're going to get to standing. Bricks are quite useful here for balance. We're going to get into kind of a different variation of a figure 4 squat. I'll pick my right side first, it's less flexible. So just going to pick that right foot up, put it on the outside of the knee, and we're just going to squat down. You can stay really upright. You might get a nice outside stretch of the hip just here, which is absolutely fine. If you want to flex the spine, you're welcome to. If you want to come down further and put your hands on bricks, this is kind of preferable for me. Some people just like to put their elbow into that knee to get that external rotation in that hip and feeling that nice stretch. But you're just going to come into this position and just rest. You can put your head down, you can keep the back straight, you can come out of it, come back into it, getting this nice hip. I really like this as like a nice check-in of which hips. If you look at me in terms of the knee position, this will be much higher. My right hip's much tighter, played a lot of sport, right-sided dominant, versus when we switch sides into my left, and this knee can open up much more, and I can sit much nicer, and I can sit in this position. So if you want to be passive and hold for a few positions, let the spine rest, down and up, and then get into some active positions, down and up too. Like I said, the bricks are quite useful. If you're super flexible, you can go to the ground, you can start bending the knee if you want to, and getting into some fun positions. But for now, we just want to be active in the outside of the hip, trying to get those positions wound up. Good. I would repeat one more set on each side, but just for brevity, I'm just going to move on. And we're just going to go to some squat patterns. So you should be a bit more work in the hip. I just want to get a little bit of rotation through the squat pattern. So we're just going to squat all the way down, inside of the leg, hand on the inside of the opposite leg, or ankle. Maybe just rotate. Put the hand on the back to get a bit more strict. Thoracic, I like to get a bit more of an arm drive, round and through. Same thing, we'll go on the other side, round and through. If this is a challenging position for you, make it easy, make it easier. Elevate those heels, give yourself a bit more ankle dorsiflexion. You're much more upright in the torso now, hopefully, and reaching around. If this is really easy for you, you can grab a plate and start to load this position, get more of an arm drive, make it a bit more difficult. Same thing, just play around with the squat, move around, see what feels good. You can get off the blocks if you want to, get back flat, reaching, breathe out, try and breathe out, rotate it further, come round through, same thing, last side, open, breathe out, rotate a little more, and come down. Thanks for joining me today.